guys, I'm S and I'm taking you on my conversion journey. So I have some good news. I made my goal for a year, and my goal was to save $10,000 in a year. And I managed to do that. And this is the first time in my life that I've saved this much money on my own. And I am like credit card debt free, living on my own. I have a huge stack of emergency fund. Well, not that huge, but I'm just financially stable, and the only thing I have to worry about is student loans. And I'm blown away by how my mindset has changed within the past few years, and my relationship with money has grown. And a good amount of that is due to Judaism and due to what I have been learning and my observance of my Jewish friends. My relationship with money was non-existent up until maybe about 5 years ago. I wasn't given a proper education about it when I was a child. No one really taught me about credit or how to invest or how to save or why I shouldn't spend on certain things. I was living a life of YOLO, live now, buy whatever I want, buying the latest, buying the newest, keeping up with the Joneses. And it was putting me in so much debt, and I was just filling my life up with stuff. So when I started to hang around more Jewish people, one thing I noticed was that they didn't like to spend that much money. Or when they did, it was very well thought out and just executed that way. And I admired it. I was just like, you know what? Maybe I should start doing that. Do I need to buy these things? Do I need all this stuff? What's the best way? What's the best value for my dollar? So growing up, money was so taboo. I was taught there was a lot of us, so money was a stretch. We had to stretch every dollar, but our mindsets just weren't right. I've always heard my parents say, we don't have it, don't ask for it, we can't afford it, we will never be able to afford it. And that was kind of the mindset that was drilled into me over and over again. I asked my friend, one of my Jewish friends, I asked her because I saw how frugal she was and I wanted to learn from her. So I asked her how she became this way. And she said her parents, from a very young age, started teaching her about money and the value of it. And I think this is a huge difference in certain minority communities when it comes to finances. The key is to start inculcating great habits from a very young age. And a lot of us missed that opportunity. Our parents just completely neglected that responsibility, or maybe we didn't have parents to teach us that, or maybe our parents didn't know. So because I didn't have such a good foundation, it led me into disastrous situations as an adult. Luckily, it doesn't matter what point in life or where you are in life, you can always turn things around. And when I was about 23, I was like, you know what? I'm in close to almost $80,000 in debt. I have credit cards. I'm struggling, but I have a good job. I don't understand what's going on. So I managed to get my debt down, pay off my credit cards, pay off anyone I owe, and save money and start my investing journey. I managed to do all of that. And a lot of that was due to me keeping certain Jewish values. So there's a different way I feel like Jewish people educate their children when it comes to money. And the Torah has a regard to money that it shouldn't be spent wastefully. And if I could add up all the money I have been wasting up until now, I would probably have just more than enough to pay off my entire loan. It's just that I would see money and just like, where did it go? It would vanish right before my very eyes. I never had a plan for it. So there was a quote in the Torah that said, one's love for God should never exceed his love for material things. And this is when I started to scale back and just completely strip myself from having like a materialistic life. I invest in books, I invest in my future, in things that are going to make me better. I invest in Judaism, I invest in my family, but I refuse to invest in things to fulfill like a need to be equivalent in society or to bring me up on a scale. I don't need name brands. I don't need to wear like fancy things, although all these things are nice, and if you like them, you like them. But the main thing for me was that I wanted to get myself back on track to start giving charity, because I understand how big it is, not only in Judaism, but in life alone, to help those in need. And the fact that I was buying myself all these things, meanwhile, there's so many people I know that are really, really struggling that could maybe use the money I've just spent on this bag, like really does like make me question my values as a person, my purpose here on earth too. It's like that amount of money I just spent could have helped feed an entire family for like a year, you know? So it's important for me to educate my children at a young age about money as soon as they can talk. As soon as they can talk, maybe even before. Because the sooner they understand the value, the sooner they could understand the appreciation of giving. And I feel like a lot of people in this world are just so into themselves, so into what they can get, what their benefit is, without understanding the true value of giving to another human being. So my friend, she explained to me how her parents taught her about a college, explaining how they were gonna pay for it, explaining the importance of getting a job and what to do with that money, the importance of giving back and making a budget. These were things that were completely neglected in my childhood because you become so afraid to talk about money when you're constantly being told you don't have it, you can't do it, you can't. And looking back, that phrase alone, just hearing that repeatedly as a kid, made me look at money as something that I can never ever have. So I look at my lifestyle now. I'm very happy that I've managed to pull myself out of the situation I was in. And it didn't take that long. It took me 2 years? It was 10 years of damage, maybe, about 10 years of damage. And within 2 years, I was able to at least get myself on track with a plan and really discipline myself. I have a family member that called me recently and said that she's just broke, she has no money, she's this, she's that, and also has a great job. And I'm like, what are you doing with your money? What are you doing with your time? And she's just always vacationing, always spending on the latest thing, latest iPhone, latest this, latest that. And I'm sorry, I don't feel bad for people like that. You have to overcome your need for materialistic things because it's gonna set you back. It's a quick fix. You know, you feel great once you get it, and then you're regretting it a day later because you know that money had a different purpose. I love the way it's no secret that Jews are extremely successful. And part of the reason is because they are just so on top of education and teaching the correct values at such a young age. So that's definitely something I found interesting. And it has helped me reach my financial goals. And I have more goals coming up, and I'm going to continue to follow what the Torah says. Don't let the evils of money control your life. Start giving and have a purpose for your money is what I've learned so far. Every dollar I make sure that half of it, maybe a little less than half, goes to someone who is in need. And to me, that brings me joy and fulfillment. That brings me joy.